What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Two Worlds podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Shack to my Aaron Carter. Rest in peace. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I guess Shaq got the last laugh. Am I right?
He did. And now no one's there to debate whether or not Aaron actually beat Shaq.
Exactly. Shaq's just sitting there going, I got 4 rings. And Chuck's like, You clearly lost, though. And he's like, he's dead. You don't know.
That would actually happen.
I know.
And then Shaq would somehow throw it in. It's still more than you. It's
Yeah.
like,
He's like,
shut up. Why is he always dunking on my boy Chuck?
Because Chuck's kind of a knucklehead. So, it's warranted at times.
He is, but I still love him.
I do too. I like him a lot more than Shaq. That's for dang sure.
Anyway, before we get into uh get into the news, we have a YouTube comment from I'll say bestie of the pod, Preston. So he says, "Hey fam, it's been a while and I decided to take time to comment this week. Thank you, Preston. We appreciate it. The first thing is he says Lindelof could be really interesting for Star Wars. The Watchmen show really surprised me, and I agree with Jake that the new shows outside of the saga have given me a lot of hope. Take it with a grain of
A
salt
new
as
hope.
I yes. He says, take it with a grain of salt, as I also enjoy the new trilogy, but understand its obvious issues. 2. Jake hits the nail on the head with the Witcher game remake. If they're doing it on the new engine, it's not a copy and paste scenario. The story is still there, so that will help, but the whole bringing it to a new engine/generation, and not to mention controllers, will take some work for sure. He then goes on to poke fun at Liam Hemsworth as Geralt, which totally fair enough. And then he says, my favorite Halloween costumes, which are all technically comic book related, were Afro Samurai and Casey Jones. The worst was when I was super young. This is funny. I was Zorro and was a shithead and put Z's on all the paper Halloween decorations with the pen. He says, I'm not doing 4, but I'll give you one that's fantastic. Jubilee goes out dressed up as Marty McFly. She already has the glasses for it. And I would give her Pop Rocks, which I'm sure is her favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's good. That's good for sure. So thank you, Preston. We absolutely appreciate you doing that, my man. So yeah, now we can get into the news. It was super light for me this week. Anytime I was like, oh, this is worth maybe mentioning, Casey had beat me to it. So I'll start us off regardless because mine are not near as good as yours. But a big one is that we finally learned that Sandman is renewed for a second season at Netflix. I'm very excited for that. I love the first season. Very good show. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Casey, I don't think you've seen it, but is this cool to you?
I mean, it is great. I think it would have been very dumb on Netflix's part not to do it. Like even though me and Bree watched a little bit of it, I couldn't really get into it and she couldn't, but it's still like I knew enough people were talking about that show that it'd be idiotic for them not to re-up when they don't have a lot of shows that people are freaking out about anymore, outside of Stranger Things.
Right.
So yeah, it just seemed like the obvious choice. So I was kind of shocked when it came out that they weren't going to. But yeah, you pretty pumped though. I mean, you said that you're happy about it. Do you think it's gonna stay good, or do you think they're gonna cut the budget since it kind of has like an insane one for that first?
I mean, I would hope that they don't cut the budget. I feel like them upping it is them saying, like, we get it, but we're here for it, you know?
Yeah,
But that's my thought anyway. And I don't know, like, I feel like even if Sandman had, and this might be a bit of a stretch, but say like Doctor Who levels of effects, it would still be enjoyable, but
Hmm.
only if it had started that way.
Yeah,
Going from the
you can't regress into crappier stuff, and
right.
yeah, no,
So
I hear
that's
you.
yeah.
Okay, so reportedly part of Cavill's new contract is that they will make a new Justice League. Cavill and Affleck are also reportedly going to be in Wonder Woman 3. There's also talks of him getting producer credit on Man of Steel 2. And they also were talking to Christopher Nolan and Steven Spielberg about possibly having something to do with Man of Steel 2. I'm assuming Nolan would not be directing it because he doesn't have a real alien that can fly and do all that stuff. He's like special effects, no, but he'd probably produce like he did Man of Steel, and then Spielberg. My guess would still be a production credit, probably not directing it. What do you think about all of that? Since that's kind of like a info dump.
Right. I agree with your points on the producers. I like that they'll be in Wonder Woman 3 because I think the three of them work very well in Batman versus Superman. Um, and even more so, Batman and Wonder Woman and Justice League. Um, I would like Henry to get, that producer credit or whatever it
Hmm.
is, just because I feel like he deserves it.
Yeah,
So we'll just see. I don't want Nolan to direct it. I know it's unlikely that he would, but I don't want that super realistic Superman take.
no,
We don't need it.
no. I mean, if I'm being honest, and I'm very much the minority on this, I think all of them, the DC are doing, they need to have a better tone than what they had under like the Jeff Johns regime, but they need to keep it comic booky
Hmm.
because it's like, yeah, I mean, if we want the hyper realistic stuff that's based off of a comic book, we can go with the Matt Reeves stuff. But everything else, they should just stick to making it a little bit more comic booky. That's. But I think
Like,
having Nolan's name as a producer is fine, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Um, keeping it comic booky, like you said, I think the prime example of that is either the first Wonder Woman or Shazam.
Hmm.
Like Wonder Woman's definitely the more serious route of the two, but Shazam was like pure all ages fun, but like
Yeah.
not. I mean, when I say all ages, like literally, it's not too kiddie. Everybody
Like,
can enjoy it.
I will say this though, our buddy Clint took his son Chandler to see that movie whenever it had come out, and it would have been 2 years ago, I think, at this time,
Hmm.
But Channy's pretty young still, and I don't know his age then, but like the part when the not the demons, but like the sins just were eating that boardroom of people, he's like, and like he had to they had to take him out for a little bit for that scene.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. But still, the overall vibe of Shazam, I feel like
Yeah,
is good for that feel.
I agree.
Um, so going right along with the live action stuff, John Bernthal will return as Punisher in Phase 5 of the MCU. It's probably gonna be Daredevil, if I had to guess.
So what I've heard, because I've heard this too, it's that he's gonna be because originally Jessica Jones was supposed to be an Echo, and he's taking Jessica Jones's spot because of other stuff. So I'm assuming he's gonna hook up with Luke Cage, and he's also gonna just do the Jessica Jones stuff while killing people as Punisher too. But no, I think he's gonna be the guy that Daredevil's searching for in Echo when he shows up in that, and then be part of the Daredevil show.
I'm curious what uh Kristen Ritter, is that her
Yeah.
name? I mean, we talked about it a long time ago that a trusted source said that she was filming some Jessica Jones stuff. So I wonder if that just fell through or if it's for something else.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things where she was just from the way stuff sounding after this stuff broke about John, it's like, oh, she was brought in, but then some scheduling conflicts came up, and then now she couldn't. So then they're like, well, let's bring Punisher in, even though it's probably not going to make as much sense as it would with Jessica.
Right. But it's going to make more people happy.
More than likely, yeah. Um, okay, so Marvel signed a 3 game deal with EA. The first game's going to be Iron Man. Nothing on the other 2 games for sure. Some people think it could be a Hulk game. Some could think it could be Thor. Do you have any preferences on, you know, an EA Marvel game and who you'd want it to be?
Look, I say this as somebody that plays Apex Legends multiple times a week. I hate
Yeah.
EA. uh, they're always voted like worst gaming company, although a few companies are going to give them a big run for their money this year with sexual assault cases. Um, but no, they're a garbage company. I hate that they do Star Wars games. I don't want them to do. And I say that like I even play Marvel games. I've not played the new Avengers, even though that last patch, that big patch, was supposed to make it good. I never
Man,
played the.
that's something I hate so much.
Yeah, no,
It's like,
no.
yeah,
I
we're releasing this game. It's gonna be terrible, but don't worry. After a while, we'll come out with a patch. Maybe if enough people buy it.
right. I'm right there with you. But even Guardians of the Galaxy, which several of my friends said was really, really good, I didn't play that either because I'm just I like single player story driven games like that, obviously. Um, but it's got to be something that I'm like really have a strong interest in to play
Hmm.
over competitive shooters because that's what brings me joy is shitting on somebody else that's just trying to have a good time.
Yeah, see, like I like, these type of games, but EA, it's done a lot to make me just go, I have trouble ever wanting to give you guys money again.
Yeah.
But
Now, if it is a Thor game and it comes out looking like, you know, Assassin's Creed Valhalla or, God of War, then I'm like, maybe I'll give it a shot.
see, my main problem, like I think a Hulk game could work really well, and I would give that a shot because you can do a lot with Hulk, and it works where he's destroying crap and running around because they made that one game like probably 15 years ago at this point. It doesn't feel like that where it's just Hulk running around destroying shit, and like it didn't work super well, but it worked well enough that people liked it, and you could do that with
Yeah.
these newer graphics, and that could work really well. He's got the healing factors. With Thor, though, it's like, oh yeah, good thing I got this energy power bar because I don't want to be spamming my electricity too much, or I'm invulnerable. So you're gonna have like the Superman 64 syndrome with that game. So I don't know how well that would work.
Yeah, for sure. And I
it's
definitely don't trust them to figure it out.
it's just like they have the level where you just have to fly through hoops. That was in Superman 64. I don't know if you ever played Superman 64.
I have. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where even with the cheat codes that I would put in as a kid, there was time to levels, so it didn't matter. But no, I think Hulk would be cool. And I don't think they can do Black Panther or Captain America because they're both getting that other game that's coming out. So, and we know it's not Spider-Man and it's not gonna be Wolverine because Wolverine's got his own game coming out, which that's pretty exciting. But I don't think I'm gonna get a PS5, so I'm probably not gonna ever get to play that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of like a cool character that would work well. I mean, it could be cool if it's, I guess, Captain Marvel. Like, I'm not a big. She'd probably be the same problem though that Thor has, where it's like the energy, but her energy powers are different than Thor. Where I mean, you can put a cap on it where she's like shooting too much, then she has to recharge. Where Thor doesn't really have that issue, so maybe that.
Right. I mean, I'd also be okay with like a proper new installment of Ultimate Alliance or um like X-Men Legends. I don't know if you
Yeah,
played that. I think it was GameCube and PS2 maybe.
yeah. I had both of them for PS2.
Yeah. Um I don't know. I feel like the X-Men are due for a new game like that.
Yeah, my main thing with them more than likely not getting one just because it seems like they're trying to do one character. So it's got to be someone that they're more apt to want to push right now. So maybe it's a Namer one.
Yeah, that'd be something.
I know the guy, the director of Black Panther 2 is like, Namer is just as strong as Thor. And if he's in water, he's stronger than Hulk. It's like, buddy, I'm just gonna tell you right now, he's not.
I for some reason in my head I thought it was the Thing that stupid story happened to, but it was the Hulk.
Which time?
When I don't did it happen with the Thing too? I thought it
Oh, when
was
Namer fought.
like in
Uh,
water. He was like uh I don't know. He's like way tougher or something like that, or maybe it was vice versa. Something happened where Namor won and he shouldn't have.
oh, I don't know. I know. I think he might have like because there was the whole X-Men versus the Avengers thing. And I think and I think someone fought Namor underwater and Namor won, but I don't really remember. That was kind of a shit show.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Let's
The
just get a
only
Howard the Duck game. That's the one we want.
like a hardcore detective game.
No, Dynasty Warriors meets Howard the Duck.
Duck Warriors.
Okay, so I got some fun little casting rumors and whatnot that I'll get to. So, first up, our favorite movie that hasn't come out yet, Madam Web. It's rumored that they're going to bring back Topher Grace as Venom. Boy, I mean, I didn't think I could be more excited about this.
Hey, it's what the people want.
I know everyone was like, we need more Topher Grace as Venom, please. No one
Yep.
was like, let's do some Andrew Garfield stuff in this Madam Web movie. Like, nah, Topher Grace.
Like of the two, who needs the job more?
I mean,
Just
both of
kidding.
them.
I bet Topher Grace gets a ton of money still from that 70s show.
Oh, dude, more than likely.
Yeah,
That show seems like it's on all the time.
I know. I love that show. Love
I
that show.
did, and then it's just like it's got to a point where I'm like, oh man, I don't like this anymore. uh, Bob Odenkirk, it's been heavily rumored that he's going to join the cast of Wonder Man. I think he's supposed to be Wonder Man's agent, so that's cool. I love Odenkirk, so nothing really bad to say about that. And then we got actor Joe Locke, who's going to be in Agatha. He like some of his character description came out, and it's described as playing a gay teen with a dark sense of humor. So everyone's assuming he's gonna be Wiccan. So
Oh, okay.
and then on the thing of with some more Agatha news, Aubrey Plaza's been cast in Agatha. We don't know who she's gonna be, but she better be someone that shows up a lot in the MCU because every nerd loves her.
Maybe she's a young Agatha.
Oh man, be still my beating heart.
I know, right? Um, so this isn't really news, but I was like, dang, I need something to talk about. Have you seen Dairy Girls, the show?
No.
Okay. It's hilarious. Very funny show. It's Derry is in like Londonderry, so Derry. But it is a show that takes place in the 90s in Ireland during like all the IRA stuff. But it's a comedy around dude, it's basically the in-betweeners, but for a group of Irish girls. It's and obviously not quite as raunchy,
Yeah.
it's so funny. It's so funny. But anyway, a new season came out a little bit ago, maybe like a month or so, and I finally got around to seeing it. And I love it. I don't know if it's gonna get another season or not. This was season 3, but highly suggested. I think that I know that Casey would like it, but if anybody's been on the fence about seeing it, definitely check it out.
Yeah, what's it streaming on?
Netflix.
Oh, okay. Nice. I'll just put that on the list.
Yep.
Okay, so Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips are teaming up again because they have to be besties at this point. They're doing a new graphic novel called Night Fever. got
Is it a
announced
disco
today.
comic?
I hope so. If it's not, I'm gonna just write them a strongly worded email. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. They literally, I don't think, have written anything that's bad, when working together. So yeah, I'm probably gonna check it out. And
Right on.
then you want to do this last bit and I'll get to the Toho bits, or you want me to do the Toho bits?
Nah, yours is worth saving over mine.
Okay.
So speaking of Netflix, they are going to be doing a live action film for the Gears of War saga. They say that they're adapting that saga into one film, so I don't really know how that's going to go because it's like 4 or 5 games.
Wasn't like the main story though 3 games and then they just tacked on other stuff? Or am
Even
I,
so, I think 3 games is too many for one movie.
in all fairness, I've played 2 of those 3 games. They could have wrapped it up after one.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe they will.
Because it's like that game, like the best part about it, it's like, oh yeah, the gun has a machine, has a chainsaw on it, and then it's like that's the depth of that game. So
Yeah, I think I only played 2, and like it was fun for
yeah,
sure.
it's
But
fun and it's cool, but at the same time, I'm like, it's repetitive, and you don't need to make a movie off of it. So
no,
yeah.
but if a live action movie isn't your thing, they are also doing an animated series. And they said that that can branch out into other projects as well, depending on how well these do. And I mean, honestly, I want it to do well. Like it would be
Hmm.
cool if everyone's like, yo, the new Gears of War movie is actually pretty sweet. And it was. So we'll
Like
see.
what they have to do, and like this is gonna sound like a joke, and it partially is, but it's also like this will make sure it makes money and makes people go, this is a dumb fun action movie. Get like the major, like all of the beefiest guys from Fast and the Furious, and have them just be the Gears of War guys.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Because the main guy, Marcus, is that his name?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, fans are gonna hate us for this, but it's like, give Vin Diesel. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Who cares?
He's in a big suit of armor. That's
Yeah,
fine.
just
Anyway,
have him talk about his group of guys as his family. It'd be perfect.
I know.
Okay, so Godzilla had his birthday on the 3rd, and he turned 68. The big 69's coming up. Can't wait. But but so like the Toho announced a bunch of stuff. They also got some, like, if you guys are interested, there was since it was Gigan's 50th anniversary this year, they had a short film. It's Godzilla versus Gigan Rex, I think is what it's called, and it's all CG'd up, and it's really really sweet. It's kind of like a sequel to the Heisei films, where it's this, like, everyone's like, this isn't canon, but it's also, you can fit it in your head canon very easily that this is Godzilla Jr. from Godzilla versus Destroya fighting off against a bunch of Gigants, and it's pretty sweet. Then there was also another one where they just took, it was like they did last year with Hedorah, but they took a brand new Gigan suit, and it was Godzilla, and then like you can only watch this on the stream for the thing, but it's actual suit, fighting type thing, and that was pretty sweet too. They actually kind of, Gigan was actually formidable in that, which most times he's not.
So I just Googled Gigan Rex and he
he
looks awesome.
Like, I thought he looked kind of silly. I'm not gonna lie,
I
but
disagree, but that's
really
okay. Yeah.
good. I'm glad it spoke to you better than to me, because like, in all fairness, Gigan just kind of always looks silly, but
Yeah.
but yeah, no, the like I said, Gigan Rex is really really sweet, and then the Suitmation one, it's just fun. It's fun Suitmation. But then they also announced next year they're going to be doing Jet Jaguar's 50th and Megalon's 50th anniversary. So we'll more than likely be getting Suitmations of those, along with maybe a short film. The short film was just kind of done by a fan that Toho's like, here, do another one. Here's more money though. And so probably won't get anything that way, but still be cool if we did. But we are also going to be getting a new Godzilla Toho film. And there was rumors about this for a while, but it's officially been announced. It's going to come out next year on the 69th birthday. It's directed by Takashi Yamazaki, and actual Japanese fans are like, I don't know about this guy. He only has done melodramas. And so they're like, less, but it's like when you look at most of the directors for the Godzilla movies, they're all over the place. So it's like, who knows? Um, but they're done filming, they're just editing it now, and it's going to take place in post-war Japan. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm pretty excited about it.
I think that's great. I just want to say I saw this, like I could have put it in the notes first
Yeah.
because I went in the notes. I'm like, he didn't do this yet. I'm not gonna rob this.
Yeah, I hadn't like it's been like weird busy for me. So
It's been
it's been one busy week for me.
yeah. My question though is where's Manda's anniversary movie?
I don't know when his would be coming up, but if they're like,
Next
he's probably
year.
Manda.
Yeah, 63 is when he was created.
Oh, so, but then so okay. I mean, I guess no one likes him
I
enough.
know nobody likes him.
Well, because I mean, Manda, like, because Varen has a ton of fans, which it's like if I've seen the American Varen cut, and it's one of the most god awful kaiju movies I've ever seen. Cool design Varen, but my god, that was a bad movie. I hear the Japanese one's better, but it's not really finished, so it's like I'm not gonna do
Is
that.
Baron the like flying squirrel looking lizard guy?
Yeah, except it's also it's like he's a flying squirrel looking guy, but he also is an amphibian, so it's like there's a lot going on with him. He lives in the water, but he can fly.
Why not?
Yeah, it's just like what a cool dude.
All right. Well, that is the end of the news. So now we're going to take our ad break and our special YouTube break. I've got a fun surprise activity for Casey today. So we're gonna take that break and then we'll be back to talk some comics. All right, dude. Are you ready?
I am ready.
The activity today is a Sonic the Hedgehog Mad Lib.
Oh, I love Mad Libs.
I'm glad because if you're like, oh, I hate Mad Libs, I'd be real sad.
Dude, you know I love Mad Libs. Remember when I had Mad Libs on our way back home from C2E2 that year?
I do. And I think I got you some Godzilla Mad
You
Libs
did. I haven't
once.
got a. We ought to do that on here. I'll do the Godzilla ones on
Yeah.
one of these days. It'll be fun. Or we'll do it on our C. I'll write that down for our C2E2 stuff we can do.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So I'm just going to open up the first one here and ask you the questions. I need an animal,
Walrus.
a noun.
Butts.
I'm going to leave it singular though.
Oh, okay.
A color,
Red. I'm just going first thing pops my head, so that's why butts came up.
another noun.
Silver Surfer.
Okay. A number,
69.
celebrity.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Okay. A plural noun,
Tires.
a verb.
Fuck.
Should have known. A plural noun,
Tits.
an adjective.
Refresh me on an adjective.
A describing word.
Oh, hairy.
You were gonna say very.
I was gonna say fluffy.
Okay. Person in the room.
Hallie.
Okay. God, I hope this isn't gonna be weird.
It's gonna be.
Another noun.
Socks.
Gonna keep it singular to sock.
Oh yeah, sorry.
An adjective.
Um, girthy.
Okay, perfect. A type of food.
Noodles.
Another adjective.
Veiny.
Uh, another noun.
Bukkake.
Okay. A part of the body.
Nipple.
And an adjective.
Um, I don't know. Shiny.
All right. Do my best Sonic voice.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta take a drink of whiskey to read this shit.
That's what this one is.
Oh, okay.
All right. I got to get in the mindset. Long time no see. All right, here we go. Sonic the Hedge Walrus is a sonic butt with red fur. He is the fastest Silver Surfer around and can run 69 miles an hour. Okay. Millie Bobby Brown the Hedgehog. Okay. Oh, Millie Bobby Brown the Hedgehog also has super powered tires.
Oh shit.
And can fuck better than almost anyone else. Sonic is able to harness power of the chaos tits. Jesus, I'm absolutely sobbing right now. Okay.
Oh shit.
The chaos tits, which are hairy powered crystals that allow him to transform into Super Alley. Sonic may be a sock, but he doesn't just use his girthy abilities for fun. He uses them to defeat his enemies, such as Dr. Noodles, man. God, Dr. Noodles, man, is amazing. And he does it all with a veiny smile and a confident bukkake, even though some people think that his nipple is too big. One thing is for certain, Sonic is definitely a shiny hero.
Nice. that was fucking fantastic.
Dude, I want to do one of these every week.
Yeah.
I need this. I need
Yeah.
this in my life.
Okay, man.
I just real quick.
Okay.
I just want to reread one line.
Okay.
Millie Bobby Brown the Hedgehog also has super powered tires and can fuck better than almost anyone else.
That's what Drake said.
Oh god, is that oh god, did he make a joke about her?
No, he was just like way too friendly with her. So there's like people online that's saying like, oh, he tried to get with that when she was 15.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Hope that's not true.
yeah. He'd be like, hey Millie, did you talk about me? Are you in the upside down? I got a frown.
Wow, man, do you write for Drake?
Dude, I'm better than whoever fucking writes for Drake.
I know you are. I
Okay,
see I
so
see so many people that are like, okay, even if he's not your thing, can we all just agree that Drake is the best rapper alive? And I'm like, no, no,
no,
we
he's
may not.
terrible. And like what makes me laugh is like since he does have other people write for him, it's like he'll have these one songs where it's like, hey, did, did you talk? You know, like it's like that, like, and then he'll have another song where it's like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you. It's like, dude, you're not gonna shoot anybody. You talked about doing that fucking slide to the left song bullshit, and now you're fucking trying to pretend you're a tough dude. Like, get out of
And
here.
also, you were on Degrassi.
Yeah, and you got shot. Then you were in a wheelchair. Okay, so we're gonna get into C2E2 ideas, and I'm gonna start with one of mine. So I'm stealing this idea from Comic Vine, but you remember when they used to do the art challenges where like Tony would go around and be like, "Hey, this artist friend of mine draw this." So one of my things is I would think that would be cool if we could do that, but with different things from our show. So the one I had written down was we would go around to different people and have them do Calabac girls, like have them do their own designs of that. But now I'm kind of wanting them to do
Dr. Noodles Man.
I was gonna say Sonic, the red, the red head walrus with his one giant nipple. So have that be our
Gosh.
mascot. So I don't know if you, but then like basically what I was also thinking is like if they do the Cowback girl or whatever, we could then be like, oh, if you're following, we do one of those Instagram things. We're like tag 5 of your friends and give us your birthday, and we'll draw you at random, and you can get this picture, that type of thing, just to try to up the
Right.
followers and do that type of shit.
Absolutely. I love that idea.
All right.
I've been wanting to do the Calabac girl thing for a long time. As in like a shirt or something.
Yeah. I mean, we could like if we get the thing made and we get the okay to like the one that we like the most, we can make into a shirt too. It'd be, you
Yeah.
know. But all right, man. You got an idea? We'll just keep going back and forth.
Why don't you keep going?
Okay, buddy. So the first one I had is just talk to creators, obviously. So it'd be like, oh, what are you working on now? Well, that type of shit with the different people that we can talk to. And that's pretty obvious. Nothing too crazy there. Then I was also going to be interviewing random people while we're there. So just be talking like, oh, hey, what are you hoping to find? That type of thing. And just ask them. And then like at the end, be like, hey, what's your Instagram handle or your Twitter or whatever? We'll put that in the video because we'll be doing these in video form and do it that way. Again, that's kind of like just basic shit that could also then be like, like, oh, hey, look at this. I was on this thing, and
Right.
I'll, and then this one I really like this idea, but it's a do trivia challenges with random questions, giving away prizes. So basically what I would want to do is just give you like $20 and have you pull out 20 of your like dollar, like your single, like in the like your dollar bins, just pull out 20 random books. And then that would be the prizes. We'd also stick the card, the Two Worlds podcast card in with them. And then we'll just ask random people random trivia questions. Some would be hard, some would be easy, but we'll just be like, hey, well, where was Wolverine's first appearance? And they'll be like, oh, it was in, Hulk. I'm like, here you go. Or they'll be like, or we'll ask something really hard, like, what year was Marvel Comics founded? And they're like, I don't know. Like, well, you get nothing, that type of thing.
Then you're not a nerd.
Yeah. And then I was also thinking if Mark Wade is gonna be there, we could do a special Silver Age challenge just for him. Because
I
like,
love that idea.
yeah, if he's be into it, like we have to get the okay beforehand. But and then another thing would be a video, like would be a video toy hunt slash comic hunt. So it'd just be us being like, for me, I'd have like comics that I'd want, and also Trendmaster Godzilla, and maybe like X Plus Godzilla, something like that. And then that's what we'd be hunting for. So we'd video us looking for that shit.
Watch Jake hunt for old 90s Sonic comics.
Yeah, pretty much. And then talk to cosplayers about, what's it like doing cosplay, working all your ass off just so that, guys can look at your ass. Or someone say, oh, your costume's not comic book accurate. Doing that type of thing. Now I was thinking maybe the video of the drive. So I mean, we could do Godzilla Mad Libs while we're in the drive, us eating unhealthy food, that type of stuff. I don't know, just
Little
a road
vlog.
diary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was also thinking we could just go through and pick out some of our old favorites of the Fantastic Fours that we've done and just ask random people while we're asking them questions like, hey, what would you want your turkey if you could make a turkey sandwich that's superheroes? Like who would be the bread? Give us the two guys who'd be the bread and who'd be the turkey and then who'd be the cheese, like that type of shit. Just and then like, again, go to Mark Wade, like, hey Mark, um, give us your four favorite creators that you just want to punch in the face. And he's like, oh boy, do I have a list.
Bob Harris, Bob Harris, Bob Harris.
And then, oh, who's the other dude? That big comic skate bro. He used to be he does Cyber Frog now. That I know
Oh,
that would be on Mark's
Ethan Van
punch.
Sciver.
Yes, that he'd be on his list for sure.
Remember that time it was a panel with him and Bill Willingham, and they were gonna have this big debate, and then it ended up them just agreeing on most things.
Yeah, and then like the whole time they're like, no, we disagree a lot. We
Right.
do. And they're like, well, when it comes to comic book media, we really don't.
Right. Or sexual assault.
Yeah.
Turns out we're all pretty much the
Yeah.
same.
But no, like that those were the ideas I had. Some of them, it's like some of them were kind of similar, but I think if we get our media passes, which I still haven't heard back yet, so it's not looking good. But
Yeah. No, I think those are great ideas, man. You knocked it out of the park with that.
well, that's what happens when you're stuck in a tractor. You can think extra long about stuff. I've got like 3 Fantastic Fours backlogged.
Nice. I'm excited for today's.
This was a Jake original.
Yep. This is what happens when Jake comes up with them. All right. Anything else?
Nope. But hey, if you're listening, there's something that you want us to do at C2E2, and you're like just too embarrassed to call us on the phone, just leave a comment, I guess.
Yeah. Or send us a raven.
Yeah.
All right, guys, welcome back. During the YouTube/ad break, Casey and I did a Sonic the Hedgehog Mad Lib. And I laughed so hard that I cried, and
Me too.
I was like snotting on myself, I had to blow my nose. It was hilarious. So, if hopefully it's understandable, and I just don't think that I was saying it in an understanding way through all the laughing and tears. But if you'd like to hear that, as well as, I'm not going to say our ideas, Casey's ideas for things that he and I can do at C2E2 this year,
If we get
then
media passes, the
if we get
ball's in
media
your
passes,
court, C2E2.
yeah, give the people what they want. But to hear all that, head on over to the YouTube. I really do think that this is one of the better YouTube segments we've ever had. So check it out. That's Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't have anything. I was just a mess during that Mad Lib, so just go listen to it.
And let us know if you like it, because if you do, we will absolutely keep doing it
Yeah,
because
we had a blast.
we had a blast. So, and we're going to mix in some Godzilla ones too.
Yeah. But
All
what'd you
right.
read, man?
Yeah, I read She-Hulk 7, New Champion of Shazam 3,
Shit, forgot that one.
Sword of Azrael 4, Behold Behemoth 1, Dark Knights of Steel 8, Batman 129, and I didn't bring it home with me, but I read Hell to Pay as well.
Okay. What's that one? I don't know if I know that.
It's the new Charles Soule image book.
Oh, okay, cool. I should have Googled that because I love some Chucky Soul.
Yeah.
But I read Old Dog number two, Night of the Ghoul number two, The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, one and two, The Hulk number 10, Catwoman, Lonely City, Behold Behemoth number one, Batman 129, and She-Hulk number seven.
All right. I think you've got a few more than me, dude.
Okay, man. So I'll just start off with Old Dog by Declan Shalvey. And this is a pretty fun spy book. I still don't really know what's going on, but it's pretty cool. I'm interested in seeing where stuff goes. It feels like a very light book. Like there's not much girth. It seems like most of the my 3.99 goes to the very, hard cover and not much of the insides. But the story itself, it's pretty cool. It's pretty captivating. I want to know what's going on. So that's keeping me here. So yeah, I'm gonna give it like a 7 out of 10. I think it's a perfectly fine book. It's doing a good enough job of making me interested in seeing what's going on. The art's good. So I'm for sure here for at least, the whole arc since I stuck around for Immortal Hulk that long. So might as well for this.
For one arc? No, you stuck around for 50
In all
issues.
fairness, 50 issues, that was just one arc for that damn book.
Mm.
It's like, oh, well, now you finally get to get closure with this. Okay, I'll do Night of the Ghoul also. This is by Scott Snyder and Francisco Francavilla. The art in it's really, really good. It still has the same problems as I had with the last issue where the sun is very stupid. Like, so stupid. I mean, think about a horror movie and you're like, no one would act like this. That's so stupid. That's how stupid the sun is. And everything else about this book I really, really like. It's just the sun is such a terrible character and just unrealistically stupid in my opinion. And so that takes away a lot of it. But this is still a really awesome book. I am gonna be for sure buying it. I know he's listening. I'm gonna be buying it for my brother for whenever it comes out on trade, whichever is closer, Christmas or his birthday. One or the other, he's getting it. Um, but yeah, it's awesome. The art's great. This is like the best way to have Francisco Francavilla's art because it's like when he does action, it doesn't normally work that well. When it's just like straight up horror, that's when it's at its best. You know what I mean? Like when he was doing the Batman book and it was just like Gordon Jr. being creepy as hell.
Right.
That worked so well. But I don't think it'd be the best if he was doing just straight up action scenes, and it's working really well here. So yeah, I really liked it. I think I don't know what I said if I said a rating. I don't think I had, so I'm gonna say 8.5 out of 10.
All right. I'll do new champion of Shazam, and I'll keep it pretty brief. I do want to highlight the Jen Bartel cover. It's
That's
amazing.
pretty nice.
But anyway, it is written by Josie Campbell with art by Doc Shaner. And I won't say too much because I know Casey wants to read it, but it's a pretty fun comic with the villain who uses like, how do I say this? He uses like comment sections to like make people feel bad. It's done a lot better than I just said it. But anyway, it's also pretty heavy on Darla, very Darla heavy. So she is quite the joy in this. That's her little sister. But I like it. I wish that we had more than just one more issue coming out, but
That's
I'll go.
that is such a drag for that book because it is super enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna text you that I want that one. And it's just like, yeah, it should be more issues.
It should. Why not six? Like, what?
Yeah,
Come on now. But anyway,
yeah.
I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
Like, the only way I could see it being better is if they're like, to be continued. It.
So, yeah, I agree with that completely. And normally we kind of complain about that, or at least I complain about that, just constant setups. But I really would like to see more.
Yeah, for sure, buddy. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing 1 and 2, and I'm not gonna spoil much about this because I want you to read it. And if anyone in here has been kind of on the fence about another Joker book, I'm just gonna tell you right now, pick this up. It's really good. It's by Matthew Rosenberg and Carmen de Domenico on the art for the main story. And then we also get a backup story that's a Joker story with Francisco Francavilla and Matthew Rosenberg. And those ones are just kind of silly. Like this one's Joker with trying to, he fell in love with Power Girl. He's trying to get her to love him back in the first one. And it's just silly, fun. But the main story, basically, Joker, he's back in Gotham and he's killing a bunch of people. And then like the Two Face, Black Mask, and Riddler come up to him and like, we don't want you here anymore. Get out. And so then he goes to LI and he goes and he's just runs amok and then he goes in hiding. And there's a lot more to it than that, but I don't want to spoil like anything else because there's some really cool stuff happening. And in the second Joker one, more of that cool stuff's fleshed out. We're kind of learning more. We're seeing what's going on. Lots of questions. I don't know what's going on, and that's always an exciting thing when you read as many comics as I have. And the backup story is Joker being like, "Oh, hey, I'm gonna basically fake my death so to see what people really think of me." And so he pretended to kill himself. Then he goes to his funeral, and like different people are talking about him, and like he's watching their eulogies. And like Bane's like, he laughed at society's cruelty. He told the people to reject the truths they are force fed as a man. He was mortal as an idea. He lives on in all of us. And Bane's like smashing the thing while he's saying that. And Joker's like, that's not what I was going for, but nice of him to say, I guess. And then Mr. Freeze goes up there. He's like, I did not care for him. And Joker's like, that's fair.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like I said, the backups are fun. The main story is really interesting. I'm really, really interested. So these as a whole, I'm gonna probably give them an 8s. I like it. I think they're cool. I I think people should be reading it. So
All right. Next up for me is Sword of Azrael #4. And I should have been looking for the creative team. Shame on me. Boy, it's real hidden. It's real hidden.
isn't it oh, what's the dude's name? Because we know the dude, the writer.
Yeah, Dan Waters for
Yeah.
sure. Here we go. With art by Nicola Sismezija. So sorry about that
I
pronunciation.
know. I keep saying every time. I'm like, I need to text my buddy Wukosh because he'd be able to be
Yeah.
like, he'd be like, oh yeah, it's this. And I'm like, why did I text you this? I can't read it.
Oh man. All right. So Azrael is, captured in this volcano with the big scary Satan monster. And Azrael and Angel Azrael just are trying to come to terms, or Angel Azrael just not saying anything about the actual reason that Azrael was made and how he was made. They're really having a tough time with it not being God and that it just being some weird volcano creation. But despite getting the absolute shit beat out of him, spoiler alert, Azrael does win the day because uh, the Satan monster just like captures people and brings them in here and like harvests their body parts to keep himself going because he's really old. Um, and so he was gonna do that with Azrael, but Azrael put up just enough of a good fight that like his body kind of wears out and he's able to beat him, which was pretty neat. But it was a really cool fight. And man, the art is just so cool. Um, but I mean, this is like straight out of an anime. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like it's so fun. It's so
Hmm.
fun. Um, so yeah, and then at the end, he's talking to, well, he thinks he's talking to a friend of his, one of the monks from the earlier issues. But now, Casey, I'll need your help because I think it's the same guy. But it turns out to be Father Valley. Is that the guy from Catwoman?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so that guy shows up at the end, and it turns out he killed Azrael's monk friend. So Azrael is very much not happy. And I say Azrael, I mean John Paul.
That's pretty neat that they're bringing in that dude, and then also Vengeance in this book.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this book is a knockout.
Yeah.
I really, really, really like it. So 10 out of 10, absolutely without a doubt, my pick of the week.
Right on, dude. Okay, so Hulk number 10 by Donnie Cates and Ryan Otley. And so yeah, we start off with like basically another Bruce Banner therapy session with his built-in, uh AI therapy based off of Doc Samson. And then the lady that like the queen of this Hulk planet talks to him and basically explains how they got their power. And there's this one funny part where they talk about the him fighting Thor. I'm gonna try to find where she actually what she says because it's pretty funny. She goes, the planet was empty, but then there was light. Oh, where is it? I don't want to be reading the whole thing, but it's pretty funny because she says something and Thor's like, or Hulk's like, yes, that's what happened.
Right.
And I think it's this next page, but oh, where is it? Oh yeah, she's like, yes, and then you came to us, but Hammer Satan tried to stop you, and so you tore him in half and made the rivers with his blood. We could hear his cries and thunder even here. Yes, yes, I did. I killed Hammer Satan.
Hammer Satan. I like that.
Yeah. So the next issue, he's gonna be, on this planet and doing this like Hulk ball game. It should be a blast. This book is a lot of fun. There's a big reveal on the last page, but yeah, it's fun. This is just exactly what I want from a Hulk book. Just a good time. And
Donald Cates does it again.
yep. Uh, and then last up, I got Catwoman Lonely City. Before we get to our mutuals, do you have anything left before our mutuals?
Yes, I've got Hell to Pay and Dark Knights of Steel.
Okay, I'll let you do one of those, and then I'll do Lonely City.
I'll do Hell to Pay because I'm thinking about it right now and it's
All
not
right.
in front of me. Uh, but because of that, I can't really recall what all happened. But I will say that I like it. It's Charles Soule writing about a bunch of like demons and stuff like that. The art's super cool. There's some like gory and fun parts, but I mean, I think that this is Charles Soule in his element doing creator owned stuff, not Star Wars. Just kidding, Charles. I know you're listening. But if you like demons and you like Charles Soule, then I think it's up your alley. So I remember liking it, but because I can't really pinpoint what I liked and didn't like, I'll just give it a 7.
Right on. Okay, so Catwoman, Lonely City by Cliff Chang. And so, yeah, if you were always like, boy, you know what I really want to see? I want to see Cliff Chang draw Etrigan the Demon. You get that.
Wow,
Um,
I do want to see that.
oh, dude, it's wonderful.
Yep, it is. That's cool.
Yeah. So you get just Cliff Chang going hard. He draws an older Zatanna briefly, and he, all this stuff with Batman. We get to see how Batman dies. We see the Bat Cave.
Is Zatanna kind of mommy?
I mean, I'd say she's still getting up there in age. So maybe grandmommy.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll show you. Speaking of, while we're on the subject of mommies, have you watched the new season of My Hero Academia yet?
No, I haven't.
Uh,
Also, not bad.
yeah. Well, I mean, Mirko, the rabbit superhero, she's mommy as hell. But
Oh, okay. I've seen pictures.
but yeah, so they're doing the job that they got to do, and it's pretty cool. And Etrigon's eating bad guys, and yeah, it's just this is a lot of fun. A lot, people die in it. I'm not gonna say who dies and who lives, but yeah, then the big election happens. Barbara wins, of course, but it's also like I'm not convinced Barbara's gonna be a very good mayor because at the end she's just like talking to Catwoman, the criminal, going, maybe you'll have to do crime to help me be the mayor. It's like
Perfect.
it's like because Gotham, it used to be our type of city, and now the big wigs are running it, so it's a different kind of crime. Let's go back to the old ways. Like that's not what she's saying, but that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
But but yeah, so I like this series a whole bunch. Really, the only knock that I have on this is that it was like 4 months between this and the last issue. But I loved it. That's a 10 out of 10. It's not my pick of the week just because it came out last week. But yeah, no, when this comes out in trade, people buy it. It's very good. And I would actually, it's one of those endings too, where if, let's just say, Cliff Chang wanted to come back to it, I would read it. But at the same time, doesn't need to because it ends really well, but it's also an open end type thing.
Nice. All right. My final one is Dark Knights of Steel, number 8. It's written by Thomas Taylor with art by Yasmin Putri. And as always, I talk a lot of shit on Tom Taylor on Nightwing, but I like this book. It's very good. Uh, the art is just incredible. But man, we are finally getting into the thick of like war is going to happen. War is absolutely going to happen. I think it's going to happen next issue based off the ending, but this is pretty cool. We get some poison ivy action in here. We get to see some other heroes or villains in this issue. Like Deadshot is an archer, so that's pretty cool. He's kind of got a man in the iron mask situation going on. Um, and then man, the ending is so crazy. So Supergirl and Wonder Woman, who are very much together, fly down because they're on a part of opposite kingdoms. And they're like, no, we can't fight. And then Superman's mom, who is the only one surviving because the dad died, like, gosh, it's also been months between this issue and the little hiatus. But anyway, she comes down the L. I don't know what her name is, the matron L. And old Hippolyta, one of Casey's favorites, they're out there in the field, and it looks like they're going to have a peace negotiation. But then Hippolyta takes Matron L by the hand and just absolutely laser sights her in half, just straight down the middle, which probably isn't going to bode well for the kingdom. And with Wonder Woman standing right there, uh, she screams, and that's where it ends. And it says next, war. So lots and lots and lots of stuff happening. Also, Joker, or this version of Joker is flying around with the Green Lantern ring, and I really want to know what that's all about. So hopefully we get to see some stuff soon. Yeah, yeah, I like it. It's good. I'm glad that it's back. I hope that there's no more breaks. Like they took their
Yeah.
breaks so that the artists could catch up or maybe like get ahead and now they'll just push it out to the end because there's only four more issues. So
Oh wow.
anyway, it's cool. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Right on. Okay, so what order do you want to do our Muchis in?
Yeah, I'll defer to the lady.
Okay, so first off, don't assume my gender. Secondly, I'd say Behold Behemoth, Batman, She-Hulk.
Sure.
Okay, so Behold Behemoth by Tate Brombell and Nick Robles. And did you like this?
It was all right. It had an interesting premise, and I think the art's really, really good.
I think I like the art a whole lot, and I was honestly captivated. I was like, I did not know really what was going on, and then I was like, oh, is this? Then I was like, oh, could this be what happens? And then I'm like, oh, it was what happens. Okay, like like the next page is when I figured it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really like this though, and I think people should be reading it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like those last two pages, like I just want more of that stuff because that's the stuff that I'm into.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna be getting from here on out too.
Yeah. So, and if that's the case, then I am absolutely on board for this book. But you know, I feel like Boom is really just up in their game these last couple of years. They've done Something Is Killing the Children, uh, House of Slaughter, Grimm, and then Behold Behemoth. I think could be up there with those. So I hope that it does well for them.
If what I don't get though, and with these with like Boom, you think that they would want to do something that can multiple books do their own Avengers, basically like have their own superhero group or whatever, and do it that way where they can get different writers to write it and all that stuff. But they
Yeah,
just. But
I
what
don't
would
know, but
you?
um, man, I don't know. It was pretty solid. Probably like an 8.5.
Yeah, I was thinking probably about an 8.
Oh, well, you liked it. You seem to like it more than me, so I guess
Well, fine. Let's go with. I'll give it a 9. It's not a big deal. These numbers don't really matter. It's not gonna go
yes,
on
they
our tally.
do. Yes, they do. I keep track of all of it.
You have a big Excel spreadsheet.
I'm Charlie Day. You know
Yeah.
that meme.
Yeah.
All right. So next is Batman 129. It's written by Chip Zdarsky with Jorge Jimenez on the art. And I'm sure Casey probably didn't care for it too much.
The art's very good.
The art is very good. I do like to see I like to see what's going through Batman's mind, like when he's out on the watchtower and stuff like that. It's just like, bro, how does this robot go this far? Like, how does he make it this far?
Well, like the worst part is it's like, okay, you can try to tell me where it's like, oh yeah, he's got these traps set up that he's prepped, for whatever. I think it's malarkey, but whatever. But to go straight at Aquaman underwater and take him out, and then like seconds later, he's fighting Batman, and Batman's like able to dodge him and like outmaneuver him when Aquaman couldn't in the water.
Yeah,
Oh goodness, that was stupid.
yeah. I just want this arc to be over. I want Chip to write something else,
Yeah,
Not like a different title. I want to see what Chip can do with Batman. I just don't want any more of this.
yeah. No, I agree. One hundo.
What would you rate it?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it's probably what I gave the last one. It's just stupid.
I'll go 5.5 because I think the art carries pretty heavily.
Yeah. Okay. Last but most certainly not least, She-Hulk #7 by Rainbow Rowell and Luca Maresca on the art. And what's my number one complaint about this book usually, but it still usually gets really high marks?
Oh, that nothing happens?
Yes, and that's not the case with this issue. So what do you think of this issue?
I liked it. I like seeing Jen just swoon over Jack. I like their flirtiness. You know, I thought the Doombot part was
Yes,
hilarious.
the Doombot was the best. I love Doombot. Like that's brought that over from the old her Exiles run too, and he was a hoot. And we get to see that big strong boy again.
Yeah.
And
Also, I really like what's his name? Awesome Andy. I think
yeah,
he's a charming character and his little signs are hilarious.
I agree. Yeah, no, there's just nothing to hate about this book. There's nothing even to be like, oh, fun, wonderfulness. I don't like that. It's just a good time.
It is. Also, Jen Bartel is just between this and the Shazam, it's like, damn,
Yeah, right.
how do you pick a favorite cover this week?
But yeah, for me, I'm gonna give that a 10 out of 10. It was a really good one. It's gonna be my pick of the week since I can't give it to Catwoman.
I am also giving it a 10. It's just a lot more happened in Azrael, and that's why I got to give it to that
Yeah,
book over
no, I
this.
got you, man. Okay, but what are you excited for the coming days, bud?
Um, so man, there really is just a lot out this week,
Mm-hmm.
huh? I'm gonna say Moon Knight. I know that's pretty basic, but that's just how I feel. And then, mm, man, here's the thing. I'm not really a big Fantastic Four guy because the last couple writers just weren't doing it for me. But I think I will give this one a shot because it is a book that I do want to read because I do like Sue quite a bit. So I'll say Fantastic Four as well. And then for the final one, probably Batman versus Robin. I've been liking that a whole bunch.
Right on, man. So I will say you took one of mine, so I'll try to mix up. I'm gonna say
Which one?
Fantastic Four,
Mm,
but Wildcats. I've been pumped about that since I saw that that was gonna be done in a what was it? The Urban Legends terrible thing that shouldn't be going on anymore, but they're still charging people $10 for.
yeah.
Um, then let's go with Death of Superman. I'm pretty pumped about that. That was a book I wanted so bad when I was a kid. I was like, I want my hero to die. And and then I'll say Traveling to Mars, since that's the Mark Russell book. I like Mark Russell a whole bunch, so I'm gonna give it to him. But Jake, do you want to just do this Fantastic Four? Start this one off since this is your baby.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Okay, so a conversation came up this week that I brought up to Casey. I was like, do you think that Reed Richards has a micropene? Because of his ability, he could just make it whatever size that he wants. So maybe he would just make it bigger than it actually is, and that's how he pulls Sue. Which leads right into the topic. Casey, give me four characters that more than likely has a micropene, and then give me an additional four characters you think has just a big old hog.
Okay, so Team Micropene, I'm gonna go with the Gray Hulk, Mr. Fix It, because that's the only one though. Because like he's kind of a dick and like he's smart. So like he's kind of like there's a reason why he's not very happy. And it's probably that. And it's probably like still like, you know, a fine size, but he's also so gigantic that it's micro in comparison. Like it might just stay regular Bruce Banner size while the rest of him grows. Okay, and then I'm gonna go with Lex Luthor because I know I'm gonna do a spoiler for Jake's Hogs, but the but he's got Superman on his hog list, and my inner theory is that Lex Luthor
The
he's got
real
the
reason.
yeah, like he actually goes to the same YMCA as Clark Kent slash Superman. And one day he just saw it, he's like, oh my God. And he like looks at his, and then he's just like, I have to be evil.
Amazing.
And then oh, who would else like I'm trying to think of another one that would just have to Thanos, he's gotta have a micro penis. Like if you're going after death,
I know,
it,
right?
it can't be, and then death is like, no, thank you. No, thank. I'd rather have Wade Wilson.
Oof. All right. So I'll do
That's
my.
only three, bud. I gotta get my
Oh,
third
I'm
my
sorry.
third
I'm so
tiny wiener
sorry.
out. Gonna try to think of another DC boy that would have a tiny schlong. Oh wait, we already talked about Namer.
Yeah,
He's
for
he's got
sure.
to.
He's got to.
Yeah, it's like you don't look that good, unable to score. There's a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he can fit in those tiny trunks. No hog for him.
No hog namer. All right. So I'll do my four micro beans. First up, we got Star Lord. And it's a call to annihilation when he somehow gets to pull Gamora, but then she kind of leaves, like she's not really that into it right then. And I know that they're kind of back and forth throughout different series, but I think it's because she was all about it and then found out he had a micropene. Next up is Deadpool. And I say that because if he has to try that hard to be so funny and still somehow manages to get laid, I think it's just because he makes the girls laugh. And it's
So I will say with him, because if you remember, there was that one comic where it's like he could cut stuff off and become stronger, and then it closed up on his crotch. It might have been at one time, but it probably got bigger.
well, you got me there. Next I've got Hal Jordan. And I don't really have a good reason for this. I just don't like his attitude sometimes. And I realize that really all like the things that I've read or watched with him probably aren't good representations of his character. I'm just like, man, kind of a dick sometimes. The big pilot guy, micropene.
See, I figured that's big hog attitude, if you asked me.
It's big hog attitude, but is it actual big hog? And then finally, I'm gonna go with Bane. You don't do that much Venom and not have repercussions on the peen. So
Fair enough.
so there we go. All right, man. Give me your four big old hogs.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of someone that like so to me, the big old hogs, it's gotta be one of two things. It's either gotta be like a secondary character in someone else's book that's gonna be kind of like, oh yeah, this character is kind of normal. This character is better than them in every way. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like anytime Hercules is with Thor. um,
Quiet you.
so I had to do that one. But or then the other way is they're just the goofy, weird, nerdy guy that like they don't even know they got a big old hog down there, but they just do. And so that's one of the reasons why I said Reed Richards would have just a massive hog.
Okay.
And like even but now that he's got the elastic power, he might turn it into a micro just so that he has like more room to work.
Right. Naturally.
um but Professor X has a hog. That bald freak. Just always running over in his wheelchair.
Yeah, for sure.
And then my last one that's got the hog, it's gonna be who is Superman's best friend? Not Jimmy Olsen, though Jimmy Olsen has a hog, but that won't be on my list. Uh
Captain Carrot.
No, oh, it's like Bobo, the guy. I love
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I keep wanting to say, oh, I have action comics right here. I'll find out really quick. But I love this guy, and you don't be like you don't go like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be Superman's best friend. I'm just a rapscallion. I work at a bar. I'm not picking up chicks, but at the end of the day, I'm packing.
Packing that schmeat.
Yeah, because I don't have to pretend otherwise. Oh, where does he
It is
introduce himself?
Bobo, isn't
It
it?
is it Bibbo?
Bibbo, that's right. Yeah, that's a solid answer.
Yeah,
All right. I went with Thor because throughout time, he's pulled so many chicks, so many chicks. There's just no way that he's not rocking another hammer down there. You know what I'm saying? Um, this one's kind of silly, but I'm gonna say Plastic Man, just for the exact opposite reasons that I said Reed had a micro peen. I don't know. He's just a goofy guy. The only time he was like questionably sexual assaulty was with Big Barda. And it's like, okay, fair enough for trying to pull Big Barda. But otherwise, I think he's packing some heat down there. I'm also gonna say Superman. I mean, I feel like your he and Lex both go down to the same Y. You know what I mean? Like it. I'm sure that that happened.
that's in
Um,
everybody's head canon now.
yeah, exactly. It makes sense. And also, he's just such a good dude. You want him to have a big old dick. And finally, I mean, I think it goes without saying, Luke Cage, right? I mean, Luke has got to just have a massive dong.
If Bendez was writing him, he had the biggest
Oh,
one.
dude, yeah. Out of the entire, like, even Galactus
Yeah,
at Galactus size,
yeah.
it's got to just, it's just got to look like a fire hydrant or something.
Like whatever artist is like Bendez, it's like Bendez. Why are you having me draw this? And he's like, don't ask questions.
Oh, that's so funny. So,
Draw me
yeah,
next to it.
draw it in my mouth.
Just like make me give the thumbs up, like, oh, we're friends.
You guys might all be questioning us, but it's a thing with Bendis. It really
Yeah,
is.
it is. It's he did a comic that Jake once sent me pictures from where there was this like schlubby fat white dude that turned into a big strong black man, and the white schlubby fat dude looked a lot like Bendez.
Yep. One might say uncanny.
Yeah,
So, all right. Well, there we go, guys. It goes without saying, but we definitely want to hear your opinion on this matter. Who do
yeah,
you guys think has a micropene, and who do you think has a big old hog? We need to know.
yeah. Do a power scaling of dongs. So like we could do like 1 to 10 that you can just rate.
Yeah,
I'm still saying Jimmy Olsen's at least at an 8.
I think that's fair. You
Yeah,
didn't go too high. I think that was
yeah.
good.
I mean, it's again at least he could be at the 10 spot. But if Luke Cage has got the Bendez force, then not
Bendis
even
Force.
close.
Yeah. Bendis Force is just being black and having the biggest dong ever.
Yep.
I love it. All right, guys. And on that note, that brings us to the end of the episode. So, closing plugs, if you would, please go to facebook.com/slash two worlds podcast, where we never post, and give the page a like. But you can follow us where we do post on Twitter, and that's at two_worlds_PC, and on Instagram at two worlds pod. You can email us at twoworldspodcast@gmail.com. And if you would, please go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch this week's video. We've got very fun stuff happening.
Yep. And then I don't know. Tell us, if you could be transformed into someone else of a different race, which race would you choose?
if you want to.
Yeah, just leave that down below in the comments. Come on.
But we'd love to stay in chat, but I have to go beat Casey at a game of basketball. So we'll catch you next time.
I got 4 rings. Bye, guys.